So, you motherfuckers want to play Virtua Fighter. Let's show you guys how to do that. We're gonna make it easy on you, okay? The problem is, people overcomplicate this game. I'm not gonna teach you guys how to play this game at a high top level. However, there's certain things that you can do as a human being that will stop you from getting bodied if you just pay attention to what's happening on the screen. If you're getting hit, stop fucking pressing buttons and block or evade. That will help you so much right there, okay? Because in reality, the only other thing to beat that option is to throw you. Go for a throw attempt. You're beating so many of their options by just blocking, standing. You can even block the low jab that you're probably getting spammed by because it's not a real low. A lot of people's problem in Virtua Fighter and in fighting games in general, they don't block. This is a game you're going to have to block it. I'm going to use Kage for an example character because he pretty much has everything that I want to show you guys. A lot of lows are negative on hit. Well, the game wouldn't properly work if lows were all plus on hit like Tekken. Think about that. One of the things to separate this game from Tekken the most, beyond anything, is how lows function on hit. You can get hit by like a law down back 3 or down 4-3 or like something like that, or like a Lars down back 4 or something, right? Like most lows in that game that land, not all of them, but most lows in Tekken are plus on hit. In this game, it's the opposite. Dead or Alive is the opposite. Imagine throws being a guess every time when they connect on blocking, standing, or normal, and lows are also plus on hit. That will be a nightmare. You'd never be able to defend. Same thing with DOA, because throws are unbreakable completely. When you have a low that's super good in Virtua Fighter, especially if it's like a full circular, it's very good. Always, 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 always. A real low, not a special low. Find a character you want to pick. If you guys need to find a character and you don't know how, please refer to my How to Find Your Virtua Fighter 5 main character video. I've already covered that. It's not really hard to pick a character. The good thing about Virtua Fighter is I truly believe that there's at least one character in this game for everybody. There's at least one type of character in this game, at least for everybody, I think that you can at least vibe with. Maybe they're not design-wise, visually what you want, but they're going to do what you want them to. If you can get past the fact that some of these people's name is like Brad and Vanessa and Jeffrey, there's something here for everybody. I truly think that. Don't get lost in combos as well because of the fact that some combos aren't working. I did another video as well talking about how open and close stance affects your combos. If you guys want more information on that, check out the video as well. So if you're seeing combos consistently not working on a character, it's most likely because your stance is wrong, or it's because the combo doesn't work on that weight class or our weight class. So keep that in mind as well. The purpose in doing this is not to try to teach people how to be top level, high level players in this game. Again, I don't consider myself to be at that level in this game. I consider myself to be pretty intermediate, but I definitely don't consider myself high or top level. But I feel like I'm decent enough in the game to show people the basics, and that's pretty much what this is. All right, one of the first things that you guys have to understand about this game is that you do not want to lay on the floor very often. There are times that you do want to lay on the ground to like throw off your opponent's offense. So essentially, if your opponent doesn't take up off the floor, you can do additional combo damage to them. Something similar to like something you'll see in Tekken, right? The way to know if you can even tech a combo in the first place is you guys see in the lower left-hand corner where it says hits. If the number where it says hits turns green at any time, that means that the combo could have been teched and it wasn't guaranteed. It'll look something like this. Usually, if I do this combo and he techs out of it, this will be the only thing that I can really get right here. So I'm going to show you guys what this combo looks like if I do it to him and he techs up. As you can see, it wasn't guaranteed. One of the biggest things that I see new players struggle with in Virtua Fighter is figuring out how to get off the floor because it doesn't work like other fighting games. When you're hitting the floor in this game, you're supposed to hit all of the buttons at the same time, all of the face buttons. So punch, kick, and guard at the same time as soon as you hit the floor. There's a way to tech up perfectly, and you'll get up as fast as possible, and it can really be useful to throw your opponent's timing off. So understand that there's different timings to get off the floor. You can even delay your tech a couple of frames before you get up. You guys have to understand that this game functions like everything else. If you guys know how to play Tekken, you understand what +1 means, +2, +3. The same thing applies here. The best part about it applying here is that it actually works. When you're +1 in this game, you're really +1. It feels good to feel it. There's not a bunch of armor moves and shit like that in this game. Like I know Taka has some weird shit like that or something. One of the heavier characters has something like that. I think it's Wolf or something. But like there's not a bunch of armor moves in this game and shit like that. Like if you're +1, if I do my jab on hit and I'm +5, oh, I'm +5. I'm +5 100%. You have to make a choice from -5, 100%. That's the great thing about this game. If you guys are big math heads and you guys don't mind going through and looking at listen guys, look at the data for your character. Look at that, it's right there. All the data you would need. You got your advantage, your damage, your hits, everything. You can set the training bot to do mostly anything that you can imagine. Don't be afraid to lab and go through with your character and look at what your stuff is on guard and hit, and look at what gives you frame advantage and stuff like that, because that's what's going to help navigate you through this game. I'm telling you right now, you will beat players just simply off the fact that they are not respecting your frames. A lot of people struggle with the low jab spam in this game, and I understand why. Sometimes it catches even really great players. Sometimes it's hard to beat, depending on if you have a well-placed low jab or not, right? Down jab is +4. If you're not blocking it, you're -4. So this means that Sarah, because she got hit by it, she has to respect me. The thing about the low jabs is you have to get good enough to be able to react to whether or not it's landing on hit, counter hit, or block. Because if you do low jab on block and don't react to the fact that it didn't hit or land on hit, then you're going to be negative. Because if I do this low jab on block, I'm now negative, and the problem is people still try to swing after that. You got to look. You have to pay attention. This is a pay attention fighter. You have to pay attention. Somebody made a tweet about that saying that this game isn't really based on reactions. I want to say, I think it was Hemajon or something, and I agree with that. It's not a huge reaction-based game. Everything in this game is really designed to fuck something up. This is supposed to beat this. This is supposed to beat this. This can beat this, you know? This game isn't really big on, like, possibilities. Like, you're not really going to get hoed a lot in this game. If you lose in this game, it's most likely your fault. It's actually true. Remember throws in this game? Unlike Tekken, where you can just break throws just for the hell of breaking them unless it's on a certain state. Like, when you grab a Rage Art on block in that game, it's a guaranteed throw, right? Like, situations like that occur. In this game, for the most part, you can always attempt to escape the throw. It makes this game completely different than any game I've ever played. Like, anytime a throw connects and I can do something about it, like, I have the ability to attempt to escape it. Like, that's huge, you know what I mean? Like, because of that, it's important to always be buffering a throw escaping. I'm not at that point yet. Again, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. There's always something to learn in this game, for me especially. Throw escaping is huge in this game. The way throw escaping works is you have your neutral throw, which, as you can see, most neutral throws that I have noticed, they don't trigger a cutscene, right? The camera doesn't change too much. As you can see, the Zuna drop, whole cutscene, right? 10-foot toss, no cutscene here either, but it's like such a big throw, the camera changes. But most neutral throws don't really cause anything special from what I've seen, unless there's like a wall there or something and it has that effect. But neutral throw, you have to break that by hitting throw. Back throw, you have to hit that by breaking back. Forward throw, you have to break that by hitting forward. It's very simple. The mind game comes in and it starts to get very scary, because depending on the character you're fighting, that's the throw you're going to want to break a lot of times. But that's what's fucked up, because if I know that you're going to want to break that throw, that means that my other ones are kind of guaranteed. Like, fighting Kage, what are you always going to try to break? Because of the fact that I can ring out you from here, like, it's crazy. There's nothing you can do about that, bro. I can literally grab you from here and ring you out. Why do you not want to break forward against Kage, especially when there's no walls there, right? You definitely want to break forward. But guess what? That's when the mind game comes in, because then I'm going to run up to you and I'm just going to guarantee it every time. Because I know you're going to break forward, because I know you want to. You have to. But then you fight those really good players that are like, I know that he knows that I know, so I'm going to break back. And I'm like, you motherfucker, you broke back? You broke back? That's what's crazy about this game. So guess what? Then I just neutral throw, because it's like, I'm tired of you breaking forward, I'm tired of you breaking back, you just neutral. But then they'll start doing that. It's always a guess, but if you have that read, especially character dependent, listen. The thing about throws in this game is sometimes you have to hold the throw. Sometimes you have to decipher whether or not the juice is worth the squeeze, right? Is it worth getting forward thrown in this situation? Is there a wall there? Okay, I'll eat the forward throw. Is he going to kill me with a throw if it connects? I need to just mash her. I need to barre from negative. So, by the way, if you ever hear that term, barre, essentially what it means is you just being super disrespectful and mashing from a time that usually you wouldn't because you're negative. But think about it. If you don't mash from negative frames, how are you going to beat throws? You have to mash. How are you ever going to beat somebody out from doing a slow-ass move, like something like, if I do something like this and you're not mashing, like that's super slow, like when I'm up in the air like that whole thing takes a minute. Like, you can probably hit me out of that after that. Like, you have to mash at some point. To give you guys a really simple tip, and if this helps you guys at all in your rank match journey, please come back to the comment section and let me know. Jab, forward punch. It's one of the greatest tools that you can have in this game. Understand why it's good, and if you don't understand, I'm going to show you. Jab, +2. My forward punch, 14 frames. My forward punch is now 12 frames. That means, unless you're like Kage and has a special 11-frame jab, you're going to respect my forward punch for the most part, right? The problem is that people see forward punch and they panic, because the reason why forward punch is so good is because you're not going to evade this throw. If I jab forward throw, you're not evading. Even if you try to evade fuzzy or something, you're not going to do that. Like, you're gonna get clipped by that. This is one of the biggest things I can give you guys to level up. Jab, throw, jab, elbow. It matters so much. It's very strong. It's very strong. Jab, low jab. Like you have to remember this game works so heavily on max. So heavily. +1. I'm gonna take that all day. My jab's gonna connect from that range. If I know you're not gonna press a button to respect it, I'm gonna get even more balls and throw out a 13 frame move. You know what I mean? I'm 12 frames here. Don't really need to do that, but I can throw it out. You have to find what your character has that's plus. Off the rip, I know that this is +1. I know that this is plus. 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 +4. I know that this is plus. Did you go to fucking school? And if you didn't, maybe you didn't. I'm sorry, but did you fucking go to school? +2 is good. That means that chances are the move I do after that is 2 frames quicker. It means that I'm 2 inches faster than you. Just put it like that. Instead of having to talk about numbers and shit like that, I'm bigger than you. I'm this much bigger when I'm +2. So that means that you're this much smaller. You can still move while you're small. But because of the fact that I'm +2, you can only move so much. You can only move so many ways. So you grow when you're plus frames. I'm a little bigger after doing this. And we're not talking about just this beats this beats that. He doesn't have to sabaki. He could. He doesn't have to. Learn your frames. I'm telling you, I cannot stress that enough. Use this shit. It's right there. There's 4 little boxes. Use that shit. Another quick thing I want to talk about is understanding side turn stuff. Side turn stuff is one of the most interesting things in this game. When you get popped on side turn by something, dude, the whole dynamic of the game changes. Your frame advantage changes. Because you're side turn and it takes you time to turn around and block forward, you are all fucked up when you're side guarding. You have very, very, very little options when you're side turn. You can break throws when you're side turn. When they turn you sideways, like you know how like moves like this one. Okay, bam. So you see how she's completely to the side now? She's completely to the side now. So my standing jab is +5 by itself, is it not? Side turned, it's +7. You see the little blue thing that looks like a little blue fucking Skittle that pops up? Fucking Jolly Rancher? Yes, it's alerting you that they're side turned so you are more plus. The whole game changes when you're side turned against somebody. Before you can even react to what's going on. You have to think about it. As soon as I do this and your reaction is to press and I'm +1 right there, now you're resetting yourself into more negative frames. Chances are most people that are smart, they're gonna block after that. So if I do this, hit you, now you're gonna block and I'm scooting you out of the ring. Or I can start to scoot you out of the ring, then hit you again and keep doing it. Or start to scoot you out the ring, evade, because you might mash and still ring you out. Like, bro, it gets really crazy. But ringing out is really a thing. Just please don't be like me a lot of the time to this day and try to do cute shit like end your combos with something that's gonna ring you out. Like, have that awareness so this shit doesn't happen to you. You know what it's like to be fighting somebody and accidentally do this and then fall out the ring? A lot of people ask when they should evade. You're evading because you think that you know what your opponent is gonna do. Remember, throw attempts beat evading. They pretty much home. They are full circulars, right? Like a full circular is something like this. You see that little 360 circle right there? You see how when I do this move, there's a 360 circle? Full circular, that means you cannot evade that. You can see other moves like that. You see the way the move has an arrow pointing a certain way? It's showing you which move the way goes. So this move has some kind of tracking property, but it doesn't go full circular. It doesn't go both ways. So if you're dealing with your opponents that like to get off the floor and evade at random times, if you don't feel like guessing which way, a lot of times you get people off the floor and you won't do a move that tracks that way, so they'll actually evade it properly. If you want to negate that, you have a couple of options. You can do a full circular like this, or you can just throw. Your throw works as a full circular. You'll notice that there are some characters in the game that have more full circulars than others. Like for example, there's other characters that have more full circulars than other characters like Lao. There are guard breaks in this game. Not all guard breaks make the same noise and they don't do the same thing. As you can see, one's like this, +3. It has like a little guard break animation kind of. Then you have ones like this. The little psh. A lot of guard breaks make that noise. He can actually get some crazy shit off that. He gets that every time. It's the craziest shit on block. Don't die to the walls. Be very careful of the walls. Very, 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 very careful. If you're not paying attention to what's going on near the wall and if you're not staggering when you're supposed to, you can get really, really messed up in this game for not paying attention to the walls. If your back is to the wall, remember it's a risk. But also, depending on the character, if I'm fighting Jeffrey or Wolf and they have a back throw that sends them to the wall, you can be completely unsafe and then Jeffrey can throw you to the wall and now you're in that situation. You can break the throw, of course, right? But just remember situational awareness, right? So she's here. I get this all day just because she's mashing, right? I get a full combo right there every time. So that's not the max damage, but you get what I'm saying. You have characters in this game that have throws on the floor. You do have characters like that in DOA. You do have characters like that in Soul Calibur. I believe there's characters that have low throws as well. They have that in this game. You have to understand that it's really scary in this game because you can literally die. Let's just say you get a knockdown with Jeffrey, right? And I want to go for my low throw shenanigans. You have to break those, okay? This case, it's down forward P plus G, which I have it macroed to just my X button, so it's like DOA. But you do down forward P plus G or down P plus G. So when Vanessa tackles you and takes you down, it's back, forward, and neutral, correct? Let's talk about the walls for a second. So a lot of people really do struggle with the low jab thing, so I really do want to show you guys just the main ways to beat the low jab. Like, some characters have parries, like John, Akira, they can just simply parry low jab, right? Other characters don't have that option. You're going to have to find your move that low crushes. In my case, you have Kage with his 9K plus G. That's just one of the many ways he can do it. But 9K plus G is a good move because just in case they recover out of the low jab and block, you're +1, no matter what you're plus. You know, find your low crusher. But outside of that, remember, that's not the only thing. Low jabs have no... You see how, like, I'm doing this and these have different tracking options and stuff like that? There's none of that on this. Just evade. Also, it's an EX low. It's a special low. You can block extending or blocking low. You really shouldn't be losing to low jab spam at all. You really just should not. You shouldn't. Another move that I have that jumps over lows as well, I can do my negative forward punch in the stance. If you know somebody likes to low jab on your block a lot, bink, bink, you ain't doing that. Remember what I told you guys, jab forward punch, +2, 12 frame forward punch. Like, as far as just like trying to like give people an introduction to this game and just trying to get you guys just to feel okay and comfortable with playing it, I really do think that this is a good starter for all the people out there that might be trying to get into this game and they don't know where to start. Hopefully this is a good starting point for y'all. Yeah, man. Make sure you guys leave a like, a comment, and subscribe on the video if you're new. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Deuces. Hope you guys enjoy Virtua Fighter.